Hi guys, Michelle and Jeremy here from Couples Flipping Houses. We are here this Friday at our house. The reason because we want to do an interview with our special guest today, our amazing rockstar acquisition specialist for New Hampshire and Massachusetts, Eddie DiLorenzo.
Welcome, Eddie.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
So, Eddie, we have some questions we want to ask you, but just to give everybody an insight of what you've done. You've been working with us for about a year and a half now, and you have closed on a lot of properties. Now, how many properties have you taken down to wholesale? Well, I should just say taken down from an acquisition side because we have a lot of different exit strategies.
Taking down to closing, I want to say it's 51, 52 now, possibly.
52 properties in a year and a half.
Only 51 or 52.
That's really, really good. That's very impressive.
Incredible.
Way better than I ever did, that's for sure. So, needless to say, I think you have some experience on some of the questions we're going to ask you today because you've been around the block, you've done a few deals now, you've worked with quite a few sellers. Doesn't even count for all the contracts we have lost along the way.
Very true. Very true.
Many dozens and dozens and dozens of appointments over that didn't come to fruition for anything.
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited to have you today. We just want to add some value to people who watch us on Couples Flipping Houses. And, a lot of people don't know what it's really like to deal with people off market and just distressed sellers. So who better than the best person to ask who's taking down all the properties here locally? So three of the questions we have for you today, and we'll ask you, but so the hardest things that you've done, as far as, trying to get properties to close with sellers, what are some of the hottest things that you've had to overcome?
So in terms of dealing with sellers, they're obviously in a tough situation. They don't always know which direction to go. So most importantly, we're here to provide them with guidance to, even if we're not the best option, we'll certainly try and help you in any way. But if we are, a fit for them, we kind of go above and beyond and do pretty much whatever it takes to get it done. Some of the stuff we've had to overcome, we're not always going to be the greatest offer, but we're certainly here to help provide value as well. So in order to help them get to their future destination, we've sold many items for sellers. We try to give back as much to them that they need. So I've sold.
So you're saying you sell things. So we're not just buying houses. So now we're selling things?
Now we're selling things, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes, please explain some more.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
So to whatever extent they want to take it, as investors, we buy properties as is, so they can certainly leave behind anything they don't want. But
which is usually a lot.
Yeah, in most cases, it is quite a bit. So, to give them more value, we'll certainly sell anything for them to put more money in their pocket on their way up.
Well, give us an idea of some things that you've sold along the way, and maybe some of the toughest things that you sold along the way.
Certainly. I mean, from the smallest things like desks, chairs, couches, little things like that, all the way up to, which I never thought I could get done when this happened, but an excavator and a bulldozer.
I remember that.
I remember that too.
Which, walking into that property, I was like, how am I going to get this done? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Not to mention a trailer that towed those things around as well.
Yeah, that was sitting in front of God for years.
And that was a family that really needed that money, and they were just thinking they were just going to leave it behind. But you went above and beyond and actually put money in their pocket selling that stuff. So not only were you able to help them out of a bind, but you put much needed money into their pocket, which was awesome.
Definitely.
And if I remember correctly, you contacted somebody from an estate sale company, right? Decided going through some of their stuff to try to help them along with that process as well, although it wasn't a probate situation, but they just had a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. So, this business is all about relationships. And as you get going, you'll certainly come across all these individuals who have access to dispose of items, cars, excavators, whatever the case may be. And it's very important to, keep those individuals close by. So when you're in that situation, oh, yep, I can absolutely get this done for you, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. And we'll certainly be able to put much needed money back in your pocket as well.
Awesome.
It's pretty awesome too that you to notice those things when you go into these sellers' houses, because I think a lot of them don't even realize that they could even get help with moving or boxes or someone to do heavy lifting, let alone helping with them selling things and getting rid of these like difficult problems. So,
and that's a
it's
great
pretty
segue
awesome.
into my next question. So what other things have you done that are really difficult for sellers to help us get to the closing table?
Um, as far as, they don't always have a lot of money up front as well. So we've gone to the extent of fronting them money to be able to get to their next property. We've put, pods or moving containers on our credit card so they have the ability to have access to get to their next destination if it's not close by. Um, going to that extent to where they're able to be able to move on, which is wonderful to help them out.
Absolutely. And, with the property we were just talking about with the excavator, what other steps did we do to help them out that we've done with some other people as well?
We provide them moving services on our dime as well. They were moving to from New Hampshire to Vermont, I believe,
In the winter.
Yeah.
in the winter, and they did have quite a bit of stuff that they were taking with them. So partnering up with a local moving company or somebody with the capability to move sellers to a different destination is always a wonderful value to add as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of these people, at the end of the day, they don't have any money and they need a lot of help. And getting to the next place is first and foremost usually the biggest thing that we have to overcome, and where we can provide the most value in a lot of cases for sure, and what they're most grateful and thankful for when it all comes to fruition. Because I would say, it seems like we're moving somebody like monthly at this point, and have been for a long, long time.
Absolutely,
And
yeah. We're
that's
always
that I remember, Eddie, that you did. And aside from the financial, and I don't know if you were already going to talk about this, but people don't realize that somebody can help pay for their moving, but I think also just somebody to help them take the next step, which I know we've done.
Yep. Between like
Alicia went and
packing,
helped.
going through stuff.
Yeah, I think Eddie, I remember one where you spent a lot of time with the woman, just talking to her and helping her sort what was going to go and not go. We do that a lot, and
Yeah.
just that friendship or that emotional support is just another value that you add all the time, I feel like.
absolutely, yeah. This was the deal. One of my first deals actually. Just sitting at her home and going through her items in her attic, like in the middle of winter, just saying, you have, and a lot of these sellers, they do store a lot of items. They are quote unquote hoarders per se. So it does just take that extra guidance to let them know that you don't need all this stuff to go to your next place. I'm more than happy to help you donate it to another family who can use it as well. And just really getting to for them to see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, always trying to get them to their next goal.
Right,
Yeah.
which isn't always easy.
No.
Sometimes when it's dark, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, even though they may not be hoarders, when you live at a place for a period of time, you do collect a lot of items.
Yeah.
And just going through that and figuring out what I need to take, what I don't need to take, just that act alone can be very overwhelming and stressful, especially when they have a lot of other things going on in their
And
lives.
if they don't have family members to kind of step in and say,
Yeah.
hey, how can I help you get started?
Which happens quite often.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap this up, Eddie, for somebody who's trying to get properties off market, do you have any bit of advice when it comes to helping sellers? What would you say to them?
I would say just treat them like a friend, treat them like a family member in need. What you would do for your own family essentially. And if you start thinking like that, everything else will be easy.
I love it. I love
love
it. I
it
couldn't
too.
agree more. When it comes to taking down properties off market, you got to do whatever it takes to get the deal done. A lot of times that is a lot of hand holding and a lot of help with the seller from start to finish. And that's just part of the process. But you are adding a lot of value into the community. Sometimes people don't realize how much value people like Eddie are providing to people in our community. And he does it on a day-to-day basis. Our company, we go by the go-giver philosophy in our business. And Eddie is one of the biggest go-givers we've ever seen or love having him on the business and our business and doing what he does. He's just helping people left and right. So thank you so much, Eddie, for, providing some insight. We really appreciate it. Guys, hey, remember, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, probably watching this on Facebook, so you can always find us there.
Reach out anytime. We
Yeah.
always love to chat.
If you guys have more questions for Eddie, shoot us a message. We'll ask him for you. All right. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you.